4 fantastic ties then we've had. So much for the teams being cagier, Damien, and I'll talk about maybe the loss of the away goals rule and they should bring it back and all that. What is there any running theme that you can tie through those 4 games? Because they've all been pretty exciting, pretty entertaining stuff.
I'm not sure, Tom. I'm sure someone's doing a deep dive on it as we speak, probably as to how this has ended up being this way. The technical level of players has gone through the roof. The tactical setup of managers to be able to alter games and change the way games are going, and the skill level is just is so high at the moment. And players, I think the refereeing has changed as well. Whereas before you could be more physical, getting players' faces, slow down attacks. Now players are less inclined to pull people back because it's an automatic yellow card, and then red cards come very, very quickly. You know, so I think the game has evolved. I don't know. I look forward to reading whoever's writing that paper.
That sounds like a deep dive.
These are just kind of loose thoughts thrown out there of possible things. The away goal might have some effect on it, you know, insofar as it's made the ties more open. I'm sure Brian would have much more. That
losing a goal is less of a disaster.
Yeah.
There's an element of risk. What do you think about some of those thoughts, Brian? Like it struck us that you're watching the games and that thing about Damien saying the technical ability. You might defend against some of these teams, but somebody can pull something amazing like Foden or Valverde last night out of the bag.
Yeah, I think I agree with all he said, but I also go back to what I said about the psychological levels have improved. The players are less affected by, say, losing the goal in the game. They know there's time in the game and they seem to be psychologically prepared for getting on with it and finding a way to get their team back into the game. They're also less affected by where they're playing, by the crowd, by the hostility of the crowd. There's no sign of teams buckling under that pressure. I mean, you see Real Madrid last night wanting to get the stadium closed so the atmosphere comes out as hostile as possible. But, you know, did that really affect the match? Not when Manchester City are playing the ball around. I thought the crowd got very quiet and almost gave up on their team when it was 3-2 down. They took that change again. Managers making a vital change. Modric gets on. Kroos is running out of steam. And Modric, wherever he is, 37, bit of magic and away they go, ball over and Valverde scores. So I think that's part of it as much as the refereeing. I just think Anthony Taylor had a handy night tonight. We had no real discussion on his match, but they're all very finely balanced and you're going to ask us who's going to win them.
I think the pitches as well have played into this hugely. You know, these pitches now are so firm, they're so wet, they're so fast. The balls as well just zip across them. So everything's just happening that little bit quicker. I'm watching the speed at which these things are happening on the pitch. It's just, I think, a culmination of things.
You basically can't go into a Champions League knockout tie saying we'll try and grind this out.
I don't think you can anymore, no, because if you drop off, you give players too much possession on the edge of your box. They're too good.
So who do you see going through in? What do you see the semi-final lineup being?
For me, it'll be. I think it'll be City Arsenal.
Yeah. And
I think it'll probably be Dortmund and I'll get back to you.
Still on the fence on that one. What do you think, Brian?
Bayern Munich, City. I'm changing on the Barcelona one. I'm going to Barcelona now since they won 3-2 tonight. And I'll stick with Dortmund after the second leg.